is going to be joining us. It is a little bit unfortunate. Ideally, we do like to avoid each other just because there are only 2 English casts going on. So we like to spread out. There's a lot of really good matches. I'll be honest, I would have assumed that he would have gone for Hearthstone. But regardless, we are diving on into this. We're following our players here and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hardled. We have our Danish Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the yellow Zerg player representing Team Roddy. It is Fjant. Here we go. Ooh. And again, we have been following Fjant the entire tournament so far. He's been building his way up, knocking down Protoss after Protoss, but it doesn't get harder than this. He's up against the best Protoss in all of Europe. How can he compare? He's warmed up, is what I will say. Fjant, he is nicely warmed up here for MaxPax, but I mean, it's still MaxPax. You know, you could be warmed up, but it's still, you'll be at a disadvantage. It's still going to be an uphill battle. Can Fjant make a series out of this? That's what I'm hoping for. Here's what I'm hoping for. For the time being, it's going to be a hatch gas pool standard opener out of Fjant. Everything looking as it should, as he does get into his build. Meanwhile, we do see across the map, MaxPax likewise going for a gate expand as well. Does scout with this probe, does confirm, does force the unnatural natural as we load into Hardled. As we load into this map, I imagine that Fjant is maybe potentially thinking about being aggressive. I say this because Hardled has a very short rush distance by ground, very short, especially when you knock down these rocks. These rocks get knocked down and it doesn't take long at all to waddle your queens across the map and go for a roach queen all in. Very common here on this map, especially when the Zerg player takes the triangular third. Again, we are right next to those rocks. We can just launch our creep forward, knock them down, and go for an all-in, go for a timing attack with queens, with roaches, even with dropper lords. Pick your poison, even with Nidus Worms. But that doesn't have to be what we see. It's a viable build, it's a viable playstyle on Hardled, but we'll see what Fjant does embrace here, what he embraces in this PvZ. Behind this, 6 lings are on the way. We're just joining on. We pulled out a gas. We do have 100, or we have our link speed on the way with that first 100 gas, and we have our tech of choice. MaxPax, he's going for a Stargate. Stargate opener here out of MaxPax. Here we go. As lings are fanning out. Stargate opener makes plenty of sense. It should be an Oracle first, Oracle into a third base, or triple Oracle opener into a third. MaxPax playing standard. Meanwhile, we are flooding link. Oh, we're cutting workers. We're going for a link flood. 20 drones. That's all we have. That's all we need. And we are just amassing nothing but lings here for Fjant. It's all or nothing. Who needs a queen walk with the lings they get across the map? They do try to get us around on the pylon. Quick reaction out of MaxPax. He does pull back. Shield battery is on the way. Oh, and the lings, they are zoned back. But we're not done. Again, we are completely all in. We're just massing more and more lings. But MaxPax, he's aware that something is wrong. He's got that shield battery on the way. He's soon looking to wall off. Adepts, they do force back these lings. Ling speed 10 seconds away. We are 10 seconds off. For the most part, the wall is looking solid. Can Fjant pull this off? Again, there's no turning back. Not anymore. There's no turning back from this. As more lings. The drones, the boys are being pulled. Let's go. No, they get spotted. They get spotted by the Oracle. Big scout there by MaxPax. He can turn back around. He can focus down as many of these drones as he can. Oof. And as we scout the drones, we fully wall off. We throw down the pylon behind the Adept. The wall is so very solid. GG gets called. MaxPax defends. He cleans it up. He shuts down the all-in. And MaxPax takes game number 1. GG. GG. Hardled does favor aggression. As we mentioned, it doesn't take long at all to get across the map to go for an all-in. I was assuming it was going to be a Roche-based all-in on a 2-base economy, but we saw something different there. It was a straight-up 20-drone Ling Flood. And unfortunately, MaxPax saw it coming ahead of time. MaxPax, he was able to respond, able to wall off. He scouted the drones. So for those that are curious, for those that are maybe unaware, the purpose of the boys being pulled is that you can actually right-click on the minerals at the natural, and your drones will Mineral Walk. They will actually move past the unit, past the Adept, get behind it, so you can get a full surround, and you can focus the Adept down with a full surround, essentially. But because it got scouted, MaxPax, he responded with a pylon. He threw down a pylon behind the Adept, which means you could not actually Mineral Walk past it. You couldn't get it surround, and MaxPax just shuts down the all-in. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax does take a lead in the series, but we're not done. It's not over. We're getting into game 2, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Psystorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, going for a 15-15, we have the yellow Zerg player from the land of Sweden, representing Team Brody. It is Fjant. Here we go. It's going to be that 15-15 opener here from our Zerg player. That means we get our hatchery on location without being disrupted. It is a bit of a give and take. Briefly touching on this, of course, with a 15 hatchery timing, we can throw it down before the probe does arrive. Unfortunately, this does mean that link speed is going to be delayed, so gases will be quite late for Fjant, but it is a very safe way to play. It does sacrifice some of the economy for some safety. Here we go. See in the chat, no bailings, so kind of fail. I mean, again, like with the drone drilling, you don't actually need bailings with that. You can still succeed with that all in. We've seen players like Solar, players like Dark, they have pulled that off before. But again, because it got scouted, Fjant was able to just shut it down completely. Just shut down the all in. Oh, sorry, MaxPax was able to shut down the all-in completely. I mean, did shut it down. And with that, we are now getting into game number 2. Going to be a gate expand into the Cybercore standard opener here by MaxPax. Meanwhile, Fjant back at home, just going to be droning on up, saturating his bases. He could decide to skip link speed. That is possible. He could just go straight into roaches. We'll see how he makes use of this gas. Of his eventual gas. As the probe is forced away, queens are amassing, Fjant is droning, should eventually be working on his third. As he works towards his third hatchery, that is when we should be taking our gases. And that is when we should be eventually taking on up. Speaking of tech, we have our tech of choice. MaxPax opening up Stargate once again. Again, a very standard opener out of MaxPax going for a Stargate. I imagine going into Oracles from here. Oracle opener. Into a third base, into triple Oracle. That should be the direction that MaxPax is headed. As our Lings, they do slip in across the map. They do get a free scout of the natural. They try to get the probe in. Oh my god. They will barely. One Ling goes down. They do not get the probe. Adept does arrive, and the Ling gets shut down, but not before it does get a scout of the main, not before we get eyes on the Stargate. So we're fully aware of what's going on. The Adept does slip into the natural. One drone goes down. Oh, can we get a second? For the time being, we cannot. So far, just one drone kill, which is still good, don't get me wrong. But a clean defense from Fjant. Does minimize his losses. We have 100 gas. And do we skip link speed? The answer is yes. Oh, wait, what? Am I crazy? Oh, he just got into gas. My apologies. Just got into gas here. So still not at 100. There's a third base on the way. But again, you can see how late link speed is here just because of the late gases. Oracle's moving out across the map, but they do shade into the main. And are we ready for that Oracle? The Queens! No, we move out of position. The Queens, they are distracted. 3 drones get picked up. Good damage done here by MaxPax. As he's working on his third base and he's building up his Oracle counts. Additional Oracles on the way. Fjant is investing into link speed. It is in production, but it just now started. And until then, the Adepts, they can wreak havoc here as they shade into the natural, once again getting another drone. 5 workers go down. Ay, ay, ay. 5 workers, and again, we're not done. Nowhere close. As 2 oracles can one-shot workers, so we're headed towards the main. We are headed towards that main base. Queens are keeping up, but no Spore. Oh my god, we're cutting corners, and this is the lack of Spore. We are being punished. 3 more workers go down. Spore not quite done here at the natural. It's just now finishing. And MaxPax will escape, just barely. With barely any HP, with 2 HP even. And honestly, MaxPax, he's in full control of this game. No Spore at the third either. Fjant, he was trying to cut corners, he was trying to be greedy, he was trying to be economic, but alas, is being punished for it hard, left and right. MaxPax in full control. Behind this, he's transitioning into Forge, into Twilight Council. It should be +1 and Blink. We can work towards Charge as well. We have options, but Blink should be on the horizon here, as we're getting even more damage done in the main. That's going to be 11 dead workers. I'm afraid to look at the units lost tab, but that is going to be 17 drones killed in total. Not a single Oracle. 17 drones for 2 Adepts. That is brutal. Oh. Finally, we do force back the army. We commit to the Shade once again. Adepts are going to be going down, but these are trades that MaxPax he can afford. At this rate, he can afford it. As look at the worker count. MaxPax is on 60 workers. He's almost up 30, 25 drones. And he's not done. Even more workers going down. Fjant, he just cannot keep up with the harass of his opponent. He's all in. A massive link flood across the map. But we are in position. This is the power of the Oracle. The Oracle, of course, can harass across the map, as we've seen, but can also defend against these link floods. Like the Lings, they do nothing here. They get us surrounded on a shield battery, but they cannot touch the economy. They cannot touch the mineral line. As Fjant has to back off. And he's making 26 more Lings behind this. He's all in completely. It's all or nothing for Fjant. The Queens, they waddle across the map as well, doing what they can. Again, we cannot macro out of this. Fjant, he knows that it's all or nothing at this point. Shield batteries are done. Overcharge is available. We don't even waste it. We don't even use it here. We don't need it. There we go. It is now being popped. The overcharge keeping the Stalkers alive. The Lings, they do squeeze their way into the mineral line, but they're being cleaned up completely by the Oracles. The Queens are doing what they can to help support, but they cannot transfuse. They're off of creep. And with the death of these Lings, it's going to be the death of the Queens as well. And MaxPax snowballing out of control. The all-in was the only option, the only answer that Fjant had, but it's just not going to be enough. Again, he just lost far too many workers here in the lead-up to this third. GG gets called, and MaxPax will take the series 2-0. GG. A solid game, a solid performance there out of MaxPax. Again, he's the best Protoss player that Europe has to offer, so he came in as the favored player. And Fjant's game 1 went for a failed all-in. Did try his best, but he was scouted, he was shut down. Here in game number 2, he tried to play macro, he tried to get his way into the mid game, but he was just being too greedy. He skipped his spores, he was caught out with his queens, and he lost a game-ending amount of drones. It was insane how many workers he had lost. So this time he was forced all in. It was never his initial plan. He never wanted to go all in, but it was the only option. It was the only answer. And unfortunately, it just was not enough. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations to MaxPax as he does advance on into the next round. My condolences to Fjant. He had a good run, don't get me wrong, but it's difficult for anyone to face off against MaxPax. Regardless if you're Fjant, if you're a Lambo, a Laser, even Rainerin, several have struggled against MaxPax in the past. So, again, he is the best Protoss in the region for a reason, and is looking to make a deep run here, looking to take the entire tournament. We'll see if he can. We will see if he can. Meanwhile, big shout to Fjant. Again, he did an amazing job making it this far. He did struggle against MaxPax, but he looked confident and looked good against everyone else. So very nicely done here by Fjant, as he does end up falling. MaxPax, meanwhile, advances on into the next round.